I've had people talk about the fork seals on the CRF saying that theirs have gone bad. Mine look pretty good. Haven't done a whole lot of mud, so maybe that's the saving grace here. I don't know, but anyways, I'm gonna add some neoprene fork seal savers. Yeah, we got the big long ones, so we give those a try. All right, your front axle nut's going to be 23 millimeter. And then the pinch bolts are going to be 10s. All right, well, we got the front wheel off. We're going to check the front brakes, and they look fine. All right, let's see if we can get a couple more miles out of them. Speed sensor comes off. All right, while they're here and they're still on, the triple trees, I'm going to clean them off and make them nice and pretty. And then we're going to pull the forks out of the triple trees. And these actually are, they don't have zippers, so they slide down from the top and they get attached that way. They're too fat to fit over all of this. Okay, so your forks are held in by these two bolts, and on mine, this is part of the Zeta handguard. So these two Allens have to come out. But I want you to take note of, there's a little ring right there. So when we put these back in, we're going to go no higher than that little ring. And I want you to take note of the orientation, right, where it says Showa, so it faces this direction. We're going to put that in the same way. There we go, there's one fork tube. Okay, so here are the rings. You see the top one is where I had it set. Then there's a lower one if you want to lower your front end a little bit, so you're a shorter rider. Because this is actually going to get zip tied right here. And it'll sit just like this. Okay, but first we got to work this thing on. In the instructions it says if it doesn't go on, if your forks are too big, go ahead and soak. Go ahead and soak these for 5 minutes in hot water. I guess loosen up the rubber. Let's see how we can do this. Oh, this is really tight. There we go. So face as it goes on the bike like this. I've got this completely the opposite way, so we got to spin this. Okay, so that's one leg, and I'm going to put a zip tie right there. But I think I'll put the zip tie on after it's back on the bike. And then installation is pretty much just the opposite. Remember, I'm going to come up. We're going to find our little ring. Okay, so it matches the one we haven't taken off, and it's at that first ring, barely. There it is, sticking out. Can you see it? Okay. I'm going to tighten up all the pinch bolts. And then your fork pinch bolts get tightened to 14 foot-pounds. So that's next on this. I'm going to tighten these up so the fork doesn't fall out when I'm not looking. And then we'll pull the other side and do exactly the same thing. Okay, so everything just goes back together the way it came apart. Real quick word on torques. The pinch bolts for the fork get torqued to 14 foot-pounds. The pinch bolt for the axle get torqued to 15 foot-pounds. The axle itself gets torqued to 65 foot-pounds, and then your brake caliper, these guys, the front caliper mounting bolts, they get torqued to 22 foot-pounds, and then basically all these little things are like 9, somewhere between 5 and 9, just so those don't crank down on them. And that's it. So I'm going to put this back together, and then I'll show you the finished product, okay? All right, and there is your fork savers. Or there are your fork savers. All right, so that was that. Wasn't too hard. And obviously most of that we just went through, if you were trying to change your front brakes, would be pretty much the same other than pulling the pads out. Well, 6,000 miles and I still got lots of life left on the pads on there, so I'm not going to change them yet. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.